Hey guys, this is SteelKid Gaming here, and today I am back with another scripting tutorial. Today I'm going to be answering the question on how to pretty much use a remote event. Now, I need to use remote events quite a bit in, well, the games I make. I'm assuming in more popular games, you're probably going to be using a lot of remote events. So I'm just going to teach you how to use them and how they work in general. So just a note that today I won't be really running through in much detail how the basic things work. I'm going to be more in depth on the more complicated stuff. So that's just something to keep in mind. Alright, so before we start, you need to be familiar with what the player and the server is. The player is, well, the player, or it could be called the client, and then the server, well, it's the server. Now, the server is basically controlling all the clients, or it's managing them. And when you're in Roblox Studio and you play the game, but when you play in one of these play in a Roblox Studio game, you're gonna start off with something that says yeah, you can see this blue outline kind of box right here, and that's saying, oh, this is the client. You are the player right now, and well, you're playing as a player. But if you go right here, it says current client, but if you click it, it'll say current server. This is the server right here. This is the server. Now, in the server, um, the server can only see certain things. Like in players, the server can only see backpack, starter gear, and player GUI. But on the client or you actually, oh, you can actually see there's actually more things. Hold on. So you can go into a server. You can see in player GUI, there's only free cam over here. But if you go into the player, you can see that there's more than that. There's bubble chat, there's chat. You also have player scripts here. You have bubble chat, chat script, player scripts loader, all that stuff. So this is because all these things are local. In other words, they only can be seen by the player and they can only be interacted with the player. And yeah, that's pretty much what local scripts kind of are as well. Also for these GUIs over here too, it's kind of like only them, or most of the time at least. So a remote event is usually put in replicated storage because in replicated storage, it can be seen both by the server and the player or the client. Now, I'm just going to name this event just so it's a little bit easier. But this is basically what the main part of the remote event is. It's just this event inside replicated storage, and we will have to use two scripts to activate them. Now, I think I should probably tell you what a remote event does. And basically, it's kind of it's making a local script run kind of server-wide, I guess. Or not server-wide, but just on the server. So there have been many instances where maybe you're running a local script, and this local script makes, let's say, maybe this part turn red. Well, if you run a local script and you make this part turn red, that's only the client or the player. It's because it's a local script and not in an actual not in a standard script. It's only going to run on the player, not the whole server or any other players. So this remote event is basically the pathway between making something local and making something that goes on the server. So yeah. from to how should I say this? For this example, I'm going to use something in the starter GUI. So I'm just going to do, yeah, sorry, a local script. Jeez. So I'm going to put a local script in the starter GUI. This is just because, well, it can be really put anywhere. That these local scripts can really be put anywhere, but I'm doing it in the starter GUI just for yeah, preference. Then you're going to have a script in the workspace, or in general anything that can be pretty much seen by the server, but most likely it's going to be workspace. Now this remote event, actually, imagine playing like catch. I'd say when you are playing catch, there's usually like two people. Yeah. But okay, alrighty. Imagine this bad boy right here is the local script, okay? And this guy is the server. And imagine this is the remote event, okay? Imagine the remote event is the ball, right? When you're doing a local script, it's kind of like, this local. This represents the local script. This pretty much represents the actual script. But when you're running a local script, it's kind of like you playing catch with yourself. It's only you, and you don't interact with anybody else. But using this remote event, you are allowed to pass this to the server, and now the server can run it. So I am actually going to show you now. So I'm just going to make this very basic. I'm just going to say game, oh, game.workspace dot baseplate dot brick color equals brick color dot new. Let's make it really blue. So what this local script is doing, it's, long story short, making this base plate turn blue. And if we run the game, oh, there's a hello world. Ignore that for now. You can see that it is turned crazy blue. But if I go into the server here, you can see that it's green. What's going on here? Well, pretty much it's because this local script is only running on the player because it is local. And because it's not in an actual script, it only runs on the player. But this remote event is going to change that. Now, the event for this remote event is basically this: game.replicatedStorage.events, since that's the remote event's name, fire server. I will run you through on this. But basically, first, we're referencing the remote event, so, pretty simple. But then this fire server, it's kind of like any other function. You can actually put something in here. Now, I'm going to put the value, let's say, 4, okay? Now, the thing about this function is that you can put as many variables as you want. So you can put 4, you also put, let's say, high, and let's also put in true. So you could actually put any value in here. You could put a position, you could put a C-frame value, you can put a bool value, so that's true or false, string values, text, and you could also put numbers. Now, this is actually really all that you need to do for the local script. So when this local script is fired, sorry, but when this local script fires this remote event, these packets of information, I like to say, are going to be sent to the script that's receiving it. And the way to make this script, so remember, this is the one in the workspace, this is the server script. In this one, we will have to say, you have to reference the events again, so game.replicatedStorage.event. But now we're going to just say dot on server event function, all that good stuff. So basically, put the end here too. But basically, it's referencing the event, and then it's saying on server event. So this is going. So whatever is going to happen is going to be on the server. Everyone's going to see it, not just one person. And the connect function, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, in here, the first thing you'll have to do is write player, okay? Because whenever there's a local script, it automatically finds the player that it's working on. So that's the first parameter you'll have to use. Then you can actually use these values. So the next one, we're going to put 4. Now, in this case, you don't actually have to put 4 instead. You could this is a variable, so now you can name it. So I'm going to say number, and then text, and then bool, because it's true or false. So basically, as this remote event is sent to the script, 4 is now a variable, high is now a variable, and true is now a variable. So because 4 is the first variable here, and I named it number, the text high is, well, text, so I guess I named it text, and once again, bool, true or false. Now, you can really name these variables anything you want. You name them blah and oof, all that stuff. So blah is going to be set to 4, oof is going to be set to high, and bool is going to be set to true. Because over here, 4, high, and true. Player is pretty self-explanatory. I already, kind of ran over that. So now, basically what you've done is you sent data through to this remote event, and you gave it to the server. So now this server has all this information, and now you can actually do things with it. Now I'm going to make this basic right now, but I'm going to say print, let's do blah. So in theory, because this local script fired this value, and this value is 4, this 4 is now set to blah. So that means when we say print blah, it's going to print the number 4. And as you can see, it has printed, whoops. But you can see that it is printed number 4. And of course, that's because the local script sent this data to our workspace script. Then it set its variable to blah, and we printed it. This is actually the same for oof and bool. So if we do that, oof, and oof. There you go. Now, if we run this, and if we run the game, you can see that it says 4, high, and true. Because that's what we set the variables to from the local scripts, and that's pretty much what happened. Now, you can also see that there's this green line over here, and that's saying, oh, this is actually coming from the server, which means everybody can see it, including the server. If this was blue, that means only you could see it, not anyone else, not the server. So that's a basic example of a remote event, but you're probably going to use it for something else. So instead, I'm going to say, let's do, really red. So what this is going to say is it's going to send this value to the script, and I'm going to call it color. So basically, really red is now the variable inside color, or in other words, color is now this color variable is set to really red. You can see right there. So in theory, if I go game.workspace dot baseplate dot brick color equals brick color dot new color. Now this is going to probably work because this value, really red, is sent to this server script. Its name is basically its variable is now color, and we're saying, oh, set brick color to really red because, well, color is set to really red. So, I guess it does kind of make things a bit complicated, but hey, that's kind of what you have to do. So if you go in here, you can see that it has changed to really red because, yes, I'm going to run through it one more time. First, the local script fired this remote event, and it sent this data that contains really red. Then this server script received it, and now it named this. Now this variable is set to really red because, well, yeah, it's the first variable. This is the, in theory, first variable. Player doesn't really count. Then we're setting the brick color to, well, really red. I know it's a bit complicated to explain, but I think you probably get it now. So, yeah. So, in other words, that's pretty much really all I have for you in this video. I hope this helps you in some way, answers some questions. Also, I hope you're staying safe, whether you're in quarantine or not, because of COVID-19. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun scripting, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.